Hi guys, I'm Daryl. I'm the founder of Break the Limits. We help advisors to break their limits so they can make more impact and income. For the last few years, we've been helping advisors to achieve their first MDRT, multiple MDRTs, or even COT as well. My firm belief is that when you win your inner game, that's where you have massive success in life. That's exactly the reason why I'm interviewing high-performing advisors to understand their inner game, the inner world, understand the challenges so that I can inspire you to get your unique breakthrough as well. With that being said, let's get started with today's episode. Hi guys, today I'm here with Hilary. Right, the reason why I brought her to the podcast is because I really enjoyed a COT interview that I done for her. There's so much insights that I learned from her. That's why I decided to bring up this podcast. And here are some of her achievements. She has been in this business for 12 years, and out of which 9 years was in leadership role. And besides that, she achieved 6 MDRT and 1 COT. Without further ado, allow herself to introduce to you guys formally. Hilary, please.
Hi, everybody. I'm actually a senior director with Great Eastern. I'm the youngest female senior director in Great Eastern right now. I'm also a co-founder of this team called Finmeister, which is a young and driven team. We all work together. We have a lot of fun together. I joined this business when I was 22.
22.
Yeah, and this is not my first job actually.
Yeah, so just, I didn't know that, right? During the interview, I didn't ask her that. What's your first job actually? Just curious.
I was actually working for Resorts World Sentosa. This was I was part of the pre-opening team.
Okay, as customer service or what?
Long story. I was
sure.
actually supposed to be working for the casino department.
Casino department.
Yeah,
okay.
but because I was not 21 yet, they had a last-minute random transfer for me to be at the hotel site.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm just guessing your background was, HTM.
No, actually mass comm.
Mass comm. Okay,
Yeah.
interesting. And what made you switch, to join this industry?
At 22, I felt like I didn't have much to lose. It was the exploration phase of my career.
Yep.
Like just stepping into adulthood, right? So I was willing to try anything. And I like to meet people. I like to talk to people.
I can tell. You are very bubbly.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I figured, this job allows me to move around, meet people, talk to people. And through talking to them, I have the potential to make a positive impact. Then why not just try? What's the worst that can happen, right?
True.
Yeah.
And then now you're here.
And now I'm
12 years
here.
in.
Yeah, 12 years in.
So during the interview, right, when I was asking you about the COT process and everything, a couple of things that I really took away from you, which I want to drill down deeper into this podcast.
Okay.
I share with you my insights from you first.
Okay.
One thing that she never really explicitly say, but I took away was this: I do what most don't, I get what most won't. And I want to ask this, right? How did you derive to this kind of belief, right? Whereby you want to be above average, actually?
I think at the start, it didn't begin like that, right?
Yeah, of
I
course.
was 22, so I wasn't that wise.
Yeah.
I think it started off with, I felt like I will always be lagging behind if I am just me, being me. Because I didn't have much financial background. I had zero financial background basically.
Yeah.
Zero leadership background also. And I felt like I wasn't very good at all these technical stuff. And there is one part of our business that can get really very technical, right?
Of course.
Knowledge and all this. So because of that, right, I would study harder than others. Because I figured if I cannot study at a normal pace and get it, then I must put in more effort than people, right?
Yeah.
Then accidentally, as I'm putting in more effort, I realized that, hey, I'm actually not just being on par with others, I'm actually getting a bit ahead.
Understand.
Yeah. So then that's where I figured out, if I keep doing it this way, then I will keep,
Be initially, right, you're feeling like I'm a behind people.
Yeah.
But then again, this mindset helps you realize that I'm not just on par with them, I'm faster than them as well. Hence, you keep using this belief.
Yes.
I want to ask, during your study period, right, those study days, right, were you always like that as well?
Super average. I was aiming for only just
pass. Okay, yeah, I can resonate.
I've never excelled in anything in my growing up years.
Yeah. Then what changed that made you say that, hey, when I step into this industry, right, I must excel?
I guess, I think one positive thing is because the environment that I'm in, the team that I joined, right, and the person who mentored me, they are very driven. Then I've learned the concept of, it was my first time experiencing or understanding the concept of setting goals and working hard towards it.
Yep.
But also family background does play a part
Share more.
because previously we came from a not too bad family.
Yep.
But my parents actually went bankrupt when I was 18. So it was then that I realized that, okay, time to be an adult. I have to be independent, right?
Yes.
And it's real. In the past, I was just a happy-go-lucky girl, live in the moment. I didn't know how to think far or think big. Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing so vulnerably. That's something I can resonate because my father's business collapsed.
Oh,
and
sorry to hear that.
Yeah, on that note, right? How has that incident, right, changed you as a person actually?
I think it's one of the, although it's a terrible incident, right? It's one of the best things that happened to me.
In what sense?
It made me realize that this is my life. I need to take responsibility for it.
Beautiful.
And I owe it to myself to give, myself a good life.
Yeah.
Right. And also to take care of my family. I think that if I was still coming from a very cushy background, I might take longer to get to this state.
Understood. Because of comfort.
Yeah, because of comfort, yes.
Right. So on that note, right, I just want to ask a couple of questions, right, to really dig out some stuff that probably can share and inspire the rest. I remember there was this one period or one phase of your life, right? I think that was your first MDRT, right? You mentioned that on the last quarter that year, you want to challenge yourself and say, I want to complete MDRT, even though you're tough.
Yeah.
And you had a physique challenge at the point of time, training your body, training abs, right? That was probably a hell period for you, right? Share with us the thought process. What made you decide to embark on it first?
Okay, so my background now, right? In school, I never really performed anywhere above average.
Yeah.
So in my head, somehow I was conditioned to think that I am just gonna be like an average kid. And when I did above average, not MDRT yet, just above average, which is like a GILEC, right?
Yes, correct.
I thought that was my cap already.
Okay.
And then after that, I had this like uneasy feeling like cannot be. Like I feel like maybe there is more, right? And I was somehow conditioning myself with this quite silly thought, right? I don't know whether you can resonate with it.
Yes.
I seem to think that MDRT and big achievements, right, are things that are reserved for a
others.
Special few. Yeah. And I wasn't one of them.
Right.
But it was only after going through that I realized that it is actually chosen by a few. Yeah. So how this whole thing happened was that a friend of mine, my colleague, came up to me one day and then she emotionally sold me the idea of going through a physical transformation.
Right.
So basically we had 3 months, we needed to lose body fat and gain muscle mass so that you have this physique lah.
Yeah, of course.
And then you'll be judged based on that, like in a competition. It was the craziest, most difficult self-imposed challenge that I've ever done. Yeah. And concurrently, since I was throwing myself at a deep end, right, trying to do something difficult, I thought, might as well, let's just add something else to the challenge, which is my first MDRT.
Yeah.
Yeah, and at that point in time, MDRT was not the same as it is today. It was a higher
standard.
Yeah, higher standard, a higher amount to hit. Yeah. And I wasn't exactly very near. But I was like, just try lor. What's the worst that can happen? I'm going to go through pain anyways. Yeah. Yeah, I might as well put everything together. Yeah, but it was insane. Actually, at the beginning phase, when I was easing into it, right, it was still okay.
When you say easing into it, describe to the audience, right, what exactly do you have to go through? I remember in the interview, right, you mentioned waking up very early, very strict on your diet. Share with them so they can understand as well.
So easing into it, I think because my trainer knew that I've never done it before. So easing into it, he still gave me a little bit of leeway when it came to selecting what I can eat. Right, it was very, very strict, but there were, like, say, cherry tomatoes I can put in. Right. Yeah, even though I don't like cherry tomatoes, but then at that point in time when you're eating like very tasteless food, right? Cherry tomato is actually
a luxury. Yeah,
it's a luxury. He allowed me to have cauliflower mash. Right. Yeah, but it was only at the start. He was just trying to let me be comfortable there.
Understand.
Before he went full on and then made it very, very strict. So my diet is like, I have to eat 5 meals a day, mandatory.
Wow.
Yes, and at every 3 hours. So it's like a baby like that, you know. And I cannot exceed the 3 hours. I cannot be 3 hours, 10 minutes. He was a very, very precise guy, like my trainer, right? If I exceed by 10 minutes, the next day he's going to ask me, why do you eat your food 10 minutes late? Then I'm like, I'm driving to an appointment. Yeah. Or maybe I'm in an appointment. Yeah. Yeah. The feeling that you get when you eat those meals, because they are small meals, is that you cannot say that you're hungry, but you will never be full.
Understand.
So it's actually it's a very uncomfortable, uneasy feeling.
Yeah.
And the food was not nice. Like I basically had air fried fish because like I don't know how to cook. But I have an air fryer.
Just dump it there.
I just throw it inside. I don't know how to make like, you wrap in aluminium foil, put lemon oil. I didn't know how to do all those.
Yeah.
And I didn't have time also.
Makes sense.
Yeah. He didn't allow me to eat anything that, can be bought outside, even if it's salad stop. Cannot. Yeah. Because his idea is that, his thinking is that you don't want to leave it to chance. Like you don't know what
they put inside.
Right?
Makes sense.
So everything has to be done by me and I had to figure out how to cook.
Right.
My schedule was a bit crazy because running MDRT, right?
Yeah.
So there was one period I had to wake up around like 4:45 a.m. Yeah, because I need to prepare my food.
Yeah.
And I already tried to hack the easiest way.
Make it most efficient.
Most efficient, but I still need time.
45,
because you prepare 5 meals.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. And I want to say that I can prepare the night before, but by the time I go home, like sometimes I can, but by the time I go home, it's like really tired already.
To check out. Yeah,
to check already. So 4:45, I'll wake up, prepare my food, I'll pick my trainer up from the MRT station.
Okay.
And then after that, we'll be at the gym at 6 a.m. Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because no time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 6 a.m. I will train for an hour. After that, I'll have mandatory cardio. If I really don't have time, right, the minimum I have to do is half an hour. If not, there will be a full 1 hour.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like what they call body sculpting kind of training where he will attack a different body. Yeah. A specific different body part a day. So by the end of the week, your whole body
cannot move.
It's just
I can't really imagine.
Yeah, but you still have to go for appointment.
Yeah.
Yeah. So after gym and then shower and everything, I'll be running my appointments, doing my proposals, setting appointments, whatnot, and clearing all my admin stuff. So by the time I reach home quite late already, sometimes I have to like drop by the grocery store to get some stuff because he adjusts my food according to my body condition.
Understand.
So I cannot like buy like one shot, like a lot.
Right.
Yeah.
Very personalized and customized lah.
Yes.
Based on growth. Understood.
Yes.
So share with us, right, knowing that this is such a very intensive period for you, not 30 days, it's 90 days, three months, right? How do you overcome that? What were some beliefs that you were using at that point of time actually?
Quite funny. It's like, because it's already very torturing.
Correct.
Right? Then if I stop, then I'll be like, wasted.
Wasted.
Yeah, wasted. Because I already went through all that pain.
Yeah.
And although I know that in front is going to be more pain because it doesn't get easier.
For sure.
But if I drop the ball at that point in time, right, then all this pain.
No point already. Wasted.
No point. Like really no point.
Understand.
And then also pressure because initially the transformation challenge was just supposed to be my agency's transformation challenge.
Okay.
Which is an annual event where people can commit to wanting to transform their bodies.
Yep.
Whether it's like fat to lean or like lean to muscular.
Yep.
Right? Then if it's agency, it's easier for me to just like, never mind, then I just don't join.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But somehow we found out that there was a Singapore-based competition going on.
Okay.
Like literally one day after the agency's deadline. So my friend
Sign both.
told me, hey, how about let's just go for that lah. Since we already the day before would be in condition, right?
Correct.
Then we'll just go for the real thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's quite mad.
Understand. And what was some so what I'm hearing from you, right, is more of like you use regret for good, not for bad. It's like shit, sunk cost already, but no, I'm gonna push through, right? I don't want to waste it. And then the second thing is that you created extra layer of why you should do it. Why should you finish it?
Yeah.
Right? Agency competition and then followed by the national one. And share with us, right, what was one or two challenges or struggles, right, that you were experiencing at that point of time?
I can share with you one of my most down moments.
Sure. Yeah, sure. Share with us.
So, I don't know how to cook, right? And I don't know how to deal with food. So, there was one day my trainer went, you need to buy and consume young unripe pineapple. Then I'm
How
like,
the hell to select?
where to buy young? Who's going to sell me, right?
Exactly.
Because you go to NTUC, they will only put the right ones
Okay.
out. And they probably will not entertain me if I ask them to go to the store and find the unripe.
Yeah.
Then after that, I went to like those kind of like food stalls in that literally sell fruits one, right? In Hollandville area. And I begged the auntie, like, she was like, you sure? I was like, please, 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 like, can I have the most unripe one?
Yeah.
Right. So when I finally got that, right, I was like quite happy. I went home and it was very late already. So everyone was sleeping. And then I realized I don't know how to cut a pineapple. And I don't have the chopper. I only have like maybe a large knife, right?
Yeah.
And I was sawing and sawing and I almost cried because I felt so like helpless.
Yeah,
I don't know what to do, like how to, and it's the skin of the pineapple is
very rough. Yeah,
very rough.
sharp.
I could not even like cut the head off. Wow, that one was shag.
Why was that so sharp for you?
Because I think already like I was very, very drained.
Right,
like physically, mentally, emotionally. Then it's like, it's just a pineapple.
Are you
serious? I cannot cut
straw.
it.
It's the last straw that triggered you, right?
Yeah. So that was one of the painful moments. Yeah. Another one was I think because I was under a lot of stress. And then after that, my tummy started acting up. I've never experienced it before. You know, like some people have gastric when you're under stress or something like that. Yeah, so I was curling up in my toilet. Like, it wasn't like stomach or anything. It was just like acute pain. Then cold sweat, everything. And it was the middle of the night also. And I didn't know who to call or what to. I mean, I could go over and ask my brother to wake up, right? And send me to the doctor. But after a while, the pain went away. But that moment, I felt sorry for myself.
Why?
Because it's like, why am I going through so much pain?
Why do I self-torture, right?
Yeah, self-torture. Is it really worth it?
Yeah.
I understand. Like very 可怜 like that, you know, that kind of like feeling that I had.
Self-pity.
Self-pity, a lot of self-pity at that point in time.
And how do you overcome those things, right? The helplessness, then the self-pity.
I think I did it in quite an unhealthy way.
Yeah, if you don't mind sharing with us.
I realized that emotions were dragging me down. They were hindering me from getting... I mean, I was running out of time and there's a huge shortfall, whether it's physics or whether it's like in production, right? So I felt like my emotions were getting in the way. Because I'm a very, very, very emotional person and like I'm very easily influenced by my emotions, especially if they're negative lah. Right? So I just told myself to stop feeling. Yeah, I just shut off. Okay. Like, I'll feel later. Yeah.
And what was some backlash that you have to face? Some repercussions that you faced?
I had probably the worst burnout that I've ever had in my adult life so far. Yeah.
If you describe to the audience so they can understand, how would it look like?
I think the weird moment was like the day after the competition, or rather not the day after, but like the day of the competition, then people came and supported me. We went out to eat. I was very happy because I can finally eat real food, right? And then they buy me all my favorite food and everything. So I was actually in a very, very happy celebration kind of mood. Then when I was driving home, suddenly, right, I just started crying. Yeah. And it's like it's not that I was feeling sad or anything, but it's just that I think I was holding on to a lot of stress and I didn't realize it and I didn't know how to release it. So then the body just naturally...
Yeah, let it out.
Yeah.
Wow.
Then I think just a lot of negative thoughts after that. More like tired. Just feeling very, very tired.
Would you say that probably that period, right? You felt a lot of your helplessness that you mentioned. You felt a lot of disappointment, a lot of pain, right? A lot of these kind of feelings accumulated together. Of course, with more rejection coming along as well. Yeah. And you don't know how to deal with it, just numb it. Compartmentalize and put one corner.
Yeah.
Then when you open the gate, everything flush at you.
Because it's really not easy when you go on diet, right? Although people around you want to be supportive.
Of course.
But they don't fully understand unless they're in it.
Yes.
So then they will start like, oh, it's our special occasion, why can't you just eat?
Right.
Yeah, why can't you just take one piece? Then they will think that I'm trying to be difficult.
Then you feel misunderstood.
Yeah. And then it's like during Christmas period, because last quarter of the year, so the whole Christmas, I only had like one cheap meal. I was only given one allowance, right? Yeah, but then I cannot satisfy everybody. Yeah.
Agree.
So then I'll face issues like that at that point in time.
On that note, right, because I can see a lot of, I know her journey during COT, so I can see that.
Yeah.
A lot of resemblance during that sprint, right, this quarter, how you overcome that, right?
Yeah.
And your COT that year as well. Because, I see a lot of resemblance, right? How has this challenge helped you and contributed to that actually? Now you think about it.
Okay, so one thing that I like about adversities, nobody likes adversities, but one thing I like about collecting adversities, right, is that when the next challenge comes, you can actually lean on
The previous one.
to propel you forward.
In what sense?
For example, when things got tough during my COT run, I would tell myself, if I could survive like that MDRT challenge plus physics competition, then this one is
possible.
It seems less difficult, so it should be okay.
Yeah. And I see that a lot of similarities in the sense that you're a very intense person.
Is it?
Yeah, like very obsessive. If I really want it, I'll do whatever it takes to get it. Has this been inculcated since young?
No.
Or where do you get that trait from? So that the audience listening to this, right, if they can be inspired, shape themselves to be like you or have that trait, what can they do? What happened to you?
I don't think I was born with that trait. Like, I was a very chill kid.
Yeah.
Because I was a middle child and only girl.
Okay.
So it's like I would just go with the flow. Like whatever my family wants, whatever my brother wants. Never really had to push hard for anything. And yeah. So how did I actually develop this
very intense obsessive trait in you?
I think one part is environment. I don't feel like now you tell me I'm intense, right? But I don't feel I'm intense or obsessive because it's like everybody around me is like that.
Normalized in the agency.
They normalize that.
In the environment.
So it's truly, I find that it's accurate when people say you're the average of the 5 people that you hang out with. So if everybody's running, right, you cannot help but run also.
True.
Yeah. And then I guess because I have been positively reinforced by life that this way of being is correct lah. Yeah, because by doing it this way, I'm able to obtain things that I really never thought that I can achieve one. Yeah.
Understood. So what I'm hearing from you, right, if those audience watching this wants to really change their life for the better, to break their limits, right, and they notice that most winners are really obsessive, they're very intense, they do whatever it takes to win. And this fastest way for them to become like that is to really surround themselves with people like that. Observe some beliefs, some traits that they have, and then inculcate themselves, their lives. That's what you're saying. And share with us, right? Because out of 12 years of leadership, in this career, 9 years is actually leadership. No? In fact, you joined at 22, backtrack a little bit, means 25 you were a leader. Confirm it wasn't an easy path.
No.
I want you to share with us, right, for those people who want to be a leader as well, right? What was that journey like? If you can be honest and share.
Terrible. It was terrible when I first started. Wow, like I really wanted to step down on my 6th year in business. Yeah, so
that was when you were how old? 27, 26?
Around when I did my first MDRT.
Okay.
And then the physics competition, and then the burnout, right? And also during that period, my team was also like reducing, and then I realized that I might not be able to clear maintenance because leaders have maintenance to hit, right? At that point, I actually announced that I was going to step down from leadership. Yeah, because my entire leadership journey prior to that, right, was very difficult, and it's like not really right to blame the people under me because I was also a very inexperienced person. Like, firstly, my production was wobbly because I was still very new in the business. And then I had no leadership experience. Yeah, and I didn't know how to do this thing called selection.
All right.
Yeah, so I would onboard people even though they are really like not fitted for this business.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was basically like a mother hen. So I will find all sorts of different ways to baby them. And the problem with that is that I will get very, very tired and it's not effective. Because after a while, they don't actually develop the skill set needed to solve problems on their own, right? Because I'm always there spoon-feeding them. And I thought that was the way to go.
True.
Yeah, I thought that as a leader, you're supposed to be giving, right? But there is an extent like of being giving, and there is also giving people the space to make mistakes and to discover things on their own. So I never gave them much of that space. Yeah. So after a while, I also get emotional because it's like, oh my God, I give so much. Then like, why is there no performance and all this? Yeah. So I got tired of it.
Understood. And what changed for you though?
The guy who brought me in the business, who is my leader at that point in time, and also one of my associates, the two of them told me that they convinced me that I shouldn't step down as a leader. They say, just continue, right? Just power through. And they helped me a lot in my recruitment also because my numbers were falling, right? In recruitment numbers. And because of that, like I managed to double my team size in a year. and then not only maintain my position but promote to the next rank.
When you wanted
I was
to
supposed to step down. Yeah.
Wow. If you enjoyed the podcast so far and you're curious to experience the life coaching for yourself, to implement the methods that we teach so that you can see more breakthrough in your income, I highly encourage you to sign up for our complimentary masterclass. Click the link anywhere around this podcast, or you can check it out in any of our social media accounts. And right now, let's get back to the podcast. If you don't mind, we stay on this chapter first. What changed? Just because two of your guys trusted you, what changed internally?
What changed internally? Probably the same thing. I already went through so much shit. If I drop it now, then all those
Wasted again.
Wasted.
Yeah.
What changed? I think I started to speak to more leaders that I respect.
Right.
I think because I was trying to figure things out on my own. Then I realized that, hey, I was looking around, I'm like, there are so many people who have done like this or like are a few steps ahead of me. And why don't I just try to find out from them like how to work around this lah.
Yeah.
So I went around talking to people who I respected in the business. And I also started hanging out with people who I respect certain
traits of them.
Traits that they have.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And out of curiosity, previously prior to that, right, you don't ask for help?
No. My way of asking for help is just ask people go out and drink. Go party, everyone go zouk tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I didn't ask for constructive help.
Yeah, so what changed? What was some beliefs that you switched that made you ask for constructive help then?
I think that experience made me realize that I have so much more to grow.
Wow.
Like I was too far away. Like if I want to be a leader, then I have to be of a certain standard.
Yes.
And I was clearly not at that standard. So then it started me placing more focus on personal development.
Yep.
So why I talk to different people is because it helps fast track my personal development if I can gain like insights from people who are already doing well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And prior to that, what kind of relationship you had, right, when it comes to asking for help though? Do you find it hard? Do you find it troublesome? Like some people say, I don't have a burden. What was that for you? So what changed?
Okay lah. I think I will not ask. I don't like to ask for help if I cannot give something in return. Yeah.
And because is there a reason why you don't? Is there a reason why you feel that way or think that way?
Burden I don't want to be a burden
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've naturally, since young, always been a giver, right?
Right.
So I will make sure that I treat the people around me very well. So like maybe I will do like 5 good things for them, right? Then I'll ask for one.
Okay. So that worldview at the point of time is, I don't know what I can give them.
Yeah,
if I take, I feel guilty. I feel that.
Yeah.
So how do you overcome that then?
I don't think I overcome that. I think I'm still pretty much like that.
Okay.
Yeah. I would still try to give more to people than I ask from them.
Yep.
But what I'm trying to train myself is like to be less paiseh lor. To understand that like my friends around me my colleagues around me will tell me, do you know that do you find joy in giving? Then I said yes. Then they were like, but if you don't let other people give to you, you're denying them of the joy. Then I was like, oh shit.
Yeah. Light bulb moment.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was what I'm looking for. Like I think that's the belief that cracked in your head, right?
Yeah.
Then you find that actually there's nothing wrong asking for help. Yeah, because why I asked that, right? A lot of advisors maybe out there struggling on their own.
Oh, right.
Don't dare to ask for help.
Yes.
It's not that they don't know how to ask. They already know what question to ask also. Just that they either paiseh, feel burdened, right? Or don't want to look like they're weak.
Of course.
So I think it's very powerful that you shared that, right? That when you give people the chance to share, you don't deny them the chance. I'm sorry, you don't deny the chance for them to share.
They feel happy.
Yeah, they feel happy when they give also.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So on that note, right, then 2 of your guys trusted you and then the team expanded, doubled the numbers. What happened after that?
What happened after that year?
Yeah, after that year. In terms of leadership.
I never ever had a maintenance issue. Things just got better and better. It was still not easy.
Yep.
But then it got increasingly better.
Yeah.
So I feel that sometimes life does this. Like they will, like you really want something, right? And they give it to you, but then they'll still throw you some curveball here and there, right?
For sure.
To see whether you really want it or not.
Yeah.
So the year that I managed to promote, it was still a struggle. I was still facing a lot of firefighting, a lot of like human relational like issues with my guys. Gradually, then I realized that it gave me indicators about the things that I should be personally developing on.
For example, if you can share with us.
So initially I thought that it was just like, I need to find different ways to train them, create like interesting training for them, and then hopefully they will come and they will improve and all these kind of things. Then I realized that I cannot use a same stroke for everybody. There has to be a different stroke for, like
Yeah, for sure.
different folks, right? So then I started to dive into understanding the different kinds of personalities out there. Then I get it. Like I was like, oh, this is why like this person would react this way and the other person would, react another way. Because in my head it's always like, cannot be my training got problem if somebody can do well, right?
Correct.
Then why that person can, this person cannot?
Yeah.
I was just so confused. Yeah.
Understand. So what would you say like today's version of leadership? Of course, it's honed after so many years, right? As compared to the earlier stages of your leadership, what would you say is the vast difference, a huge difference?
I'm a lot clearer about what kind of a leader I want to be and what kind of environment that I want to create for my guys. I'm also aware that as a leader, I cannot always want to be a friend, want to be a mother, or this kind of thing, which I used to. So I used to be very like, prioritize this whole like, oh, they must like me. We must have a good relationship, hang out together.
Yeah.
Then they will do well.
Yeah.
But it's not true. Yeah. So it's about like, if I do hang out with my guys today, am I able to, impact them, even though the time spent with them is like not a lot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just now you mentioned 2-pointer. Let's go deeper in it because I also want to learn.
Okay.
The first one you mentioned, I know what kind of leader I am, what kind of vision I want to create for a team, right? Share and elaborate a little bit more on that.
Okay, so I've always felt that because I've learned that, you cannot use a one stroke for every folk kind of thing, right? So I've always felt that leadership should be about trying to identify strengths in people, or like maybe traits in people that can become strengths one day.
Yep.
And create an environment that allows them to develop on it. Yeah, I don't like the kind of leadership style where it's like, I say you do. Don't ask so much, just do. Or they try to do, like certain KPIs and then they hope that it works for everybody. Yeah, I don't agree with that kind of leadership. So for me, it's about, I don't see myself as a leader that is here to drive production. I find that production, right, results come in if certain things are done right.
Like what are those certain things?
So for example, being competent at what you do, right? And then being competent is not just like the hard skills. Like a lot of people can study, a lot of people can read. You spend enough hours, you'll probably get, quite a substantial amount of knowledge.
Yeah.
Right? And then you can get certification and all this kind of thing to back that up. But also the soft skills. So I want people to be able to understand what their traits are, possible blind spots, possible strengths, and navigate around it. Yeah.
What I'm hearing is that you don't just slave driving them for production, but rather you're giving them the opportunity for them to develop themselves.
Yeah.
Having more self-awareness, having better self-confidence as an individual.
So
Understand?
if they are in tune with what their unique skill sets are or unique strengths are, and they go out there matched with the competence, the knowledge that they have, right? And they really genuinely do good work in the best interest of their client, the results will come.
I believe so too.
Yeah. And value is very important to me.
Understand.
Yeah.
So what I'm hearing is that you want to be a leader that genuinely create an environment that's safe for them to develop and grow and thrive, rather than really just top-down approach.
Yeah.
Right? Give you instruction, just do.
Yeah.
I hear that. And the second thing that you mentioned, Jana, very interesting. I don't want to be the mother, don't want to be the friend. I want to really instill some sort of impact in you.
Yeah.
What gave you the epiphany that maybe this had to change?
I realized I was doing them a disservice by being a mother hen and a friend. Like, because if I did not enter into leadership because I needed like extra money or anything. I was already a strong producer.
Yep.
And based on my income as a strong producer, life would have been easier if I'm not a leader. Like,
I hear a lot of them say that.
What?
Yeah. Like you just tunnel vision more effort on whatever you're
just
doing,
more effort
right?
on production. I don't have to care about anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll fly, yeah.
I'll fly. So why I grew to enjoy leadership was because I just like to see people grow.
Yeah.
I like to see people do things that they never thought that, achieve things that they never thought they could achieve.
I love the feeling as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if that is what makes me happy, then, and being a friend and mother is obviously not working out, then something's got to change.
And share with us the tangible change so that I can understand, right? What did you say is how would that change looks like actually from a mother perspective and a leader, tough love perspective?
So in the past, what I would do is like almost every night or every opportunity I have, I'll bring them out to eat lunch or to drink. I spend a lot of money on F&B expenses, like with them. And then it's not like coaching session. We're not talking about case or like, problems that we're facing. It's just chit chat.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was a lot of chit chat. How are you feeling? Getting to know you, all this kind of thing. That doesn't work. It didn't work.
Yeah. And then what's the new version? This version?
I still have meals with my guys,
Of course.
but usually I try to keep it to like small groups, like 1 or 2 or 3 people, so that I can really have a direct like conversation with them and know what each individual need. Yeah. And my sessions with them, when I eat with them, right, it is with an objective. Yeah. Usually people don't come to me for technical stuff lah. Then they know I hate talking about it.
Yep.
I do it well because I have no choice.
Yep.
But usually they come to me, it's because they are facing some mindset issues or like they are not sure how to communicate effectively.
Yep.
Yeah. So then they'll come to me. So and during the lunch or dinner session, it will be just all about how do we solve that problem and sharing with them the experience that I've had when I was in similar positions like with them. So at the end of it, there will always be like a call to action.
Yep.
Yeah.
Understood. It sounds like you have more objectivity, more intention. Yeah, more intentional in everything you do as a leader now. Previously, it's more of like, I want to be liked. Now it's like, whether you like me or not, I want you to change.
Yeah.
I want you to transform. I want you to do the best version of yourself.
Yeah.
Right? Even if it requires for me to be slightly harsh on you, I will do it. Right?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Sometimes they cry in front of me, but I'm very okay with people crying in front of me.
Understand. Break down first, then break through next.
Yeah.
True. So I want to ask, right, if let's say there is, because for you, you're a leader for so many years, right? Someone aspiring to be a leader, right? What is 1 or 2 pointers that you will share with them so that they can, tread carefully in this career, don't have to go unnecessary pitfalls, right? What would you say to them?
Find a mentor, find a coach, find a mentor, somebody who, can give you some form of like guidance. Yeah. I find that is super important.
Would you elaborate?
Because being a leader is really a bigger challenge than people think that, it is. They thought that, I just like recruit X amount of people, I clear the requirement, hey, I'm a leader.
Yeah.
But there are different kinds of leaders. There are different standards when it comes to being a leader. If you want to be the kind of leader that you really build like substance in your group, you really are able to have sustainable success, right? Then you really have to be of a different level, like a higher level. You have to set high standards for yourself. And we can't possibly know all the answers, and we don't know what we don't know.
True.
So that's why it's good to have like a person that you look up to, you respect, who can actually has the skill set to guide you through the journey. So that's the first thing. Yeah, have a mentor or maybe more than one mentor.
Yeah,
like to handle different areas, right? Or coach. Yeah. Another thing is to be very clear on like what kind of team culture you want to build.
Team culture. Yeah, would you elaborate on that?
A lot of people don't place emphasis on team culture. They just like, okay, I just want to recruit a lot of people that can do MDRT. But one thing that I've realized, right, is that every top performer has people to lean on. Yeah. And I believe in this thing called interdependence. So there is we start off as dependents, very dependent on our IO or whatever. Then after that, we become independent. We can run things on our own, run our appointments and all this. But we will have a start point.
Yeah. And
that's where we approach other people who are also competent at what they do and doing well. And then we exchange ideas.
And then
interdependence. That's why the team culture is important.
Yeah.
And at a young, it's not really a young age, at the earliest years of your team building, right, must already start having this kind of
Culture.
already.
Understand.
So from all along since I was new in this whole leadership, I've always fostered the culture of like giving towards each other. Like cannot be selfish, you are not competitors, you're all here to help each other grow.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So one thing that I really like about my team is that they very readily, very willingly help each other out, even though they stand to gain like nothing.
Nothing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Thanks for sharing. And a few more questions I want to ask you, right? Because I noticed during the COT interview, right, a lot of your mindset as an achiever, as a producer yourself, right, were very profound and powerful. I remember there's this statement or belief that you shared there. I asked you, how do you hit COT? You need to do 3 times more FYC. Then you said, actually, I don't know much leads also. I also face the same problem, but I go the same leads many times.
Yeah.
Right? How do you have that kind of beliefs that you create for yourself, actually?
How do I?
Yeah, how do you have that epiphany? Because everybody will confirm say the same thing, bro. No leads. How do you turn that around to create such empowering beliefs?
I guess there are external factors that help also.
Yeah, for
sure. So for example, I never used to watch TV. Yeah, I mean, now I do lah. I'm more chill with my discipline right now.
Yeah.
But I don't watch TV, I watch TED Talks. I watch like YouTube of like inspirational figures.
Yes.
Just to condition my mindset. Because it's very easy to fall into a negative headspace. For me also, even though people think that I'm, always positive, it's not true.
Yeah.
And I'm not doing good to myself by being in that headspace. So then I figured, then don't listen to me, listen to other people.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I'm negative, don't listen to me.
Yeah, don't listen to me.
Listen to others.
And it's not like my negative thought is trying to prevent me from danger.
Yeah.
It's not a useful negative thought, you know what I mean? So then I just don't listen to myself, or I make sure I flood myself with other people's voices. And these people are like people who are saying things that would propel me forward.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
So
what
that's
was
one of
that
the
one
things.
catalyst, right, that made you have this new belief that like, I don't have, a leads issue. I can actually go to leads many times. That was powerful. I really took that away very profoundly. Like, was there an incident that stemmed from this?
I guess it's just I like to try lor. What's the worst that can happen?
You keep saying that actually. I love that. What's the worst that could happen?
What's the worst that can happen? It's like already I have problems finding leads
Yes,
because it was
correct.
like during circuit breaker
Yeah.
period. If I don't do anything, the problem is just going to be there.
Correct.
But if I try something different, there is still hope. So I'm always trying to look for hope. Yeah, even if it's a small hope, like small chance, just try. Then after that, I was like, it works. Then try again with the next person.
Yeah.
Then try again. Yeah.
And that's where I remember the sharing that you shared with me, right, was this, correct me if I'm wrong. You mentioned that if I genuinely believe that whatever I propose is good for the person, and this person at that moment cannot see the light, it's okay, what? I'll say it again and again because I know that's the right thing for me to do.
Yes.
So that's why I don't have many leads, but I have the same person many times.
Yeah.
And then got 12 months for me to run, 12 months for me to ask.
Yeah.
You never know, you never try, never know. I think that was what you shared with me. It's still in my head. Was that true? I mean, this story is true, right?
It's true, but it's not just 12 months. Some people I follow up for 3 to 5 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
3 to 5 years.
If I really think that something is, I'm consistent in that way.
Correct.
Like if I think this is good for you and you didn't disagree with me, but for whatever reasons at that point in time you cannot do it, I'm just going to come back again. Or maybe you cannot understand why it's important to you. Maybe I didn't explain it well enough. But next year I'll do a better job explaining it. Yeah, I'll come up with a better way to make it easy to understand why it fits into their life.
True.
So they'll just keep going back.
Understand.
Again and again.
Vast majority of advisors out there, right, they always feel either the shame or the stigma in industry, right? Industry stigma, or shame of like, going around asking for sales. How did you overcome that? Or do you have that?
I had.
Yeah.
How did I just do lor?
Yeah.
Like at the start,
top producers, I always say that, just do. But what is the underlying thing that helped you to just do? There must be something. There was some beliefs that you use, right? That made you do. Other than the regret, I can tell that you got regret the driving force.
You have to question the stigma, and then
Question
after
the
that,
stigma.
Yeah,
I like
ask
that.
yourself whether you fit into the stigma. I confirm don't fit into the stigma.
Yeah.
So then never mind, then continue.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't need everybody to be my client. Yeah. And to be honest, like I find that this sounds really like a bit like not humble, but then like I had this thinking in my head that if you're not my client, actually it's your loss.
How did you derive to have such conviction?
Maybe because I gullible lah. I was like 22 years old, right? But I know I put in a lot of effort. Like I may not be the smartest agent around, right? But I know that I was really like I was very on the ball. I every client I really like give them my undivided attention during the appointment. I really try very hard to imagine myself in their position when I do a recommendation. Then after that, I spend a lot of hours really reading up to make sure that this recommendation that I give them is sound.
Yeah.
Right. And then after that, I will try to go and find ways to how can I explain this to a person in a way that they can understand.
Understood.
Yeah. And although I may not be the best agent, but there are a lot of agents that are just not willing to do that. Like they just go in, they close the case, they leave.
Yep.
So if that is the standard,
you're above the standard.
I'm above the standard. So then it's your loss if you don't do business with me.
And with that, that's why you feel that you deserve good clients coming to your way.
Yeah.
Right.
And this was before I even had any awards.
Wow, powerful.
Yeah.
And because of the deservingness, increase your conviction and your confidence went up. So you combat the shame, combat all the fear.
Yeah. But it's hard work also because
of course.
You cannot drop the ball. You cannot now you're like that with them, you give them 100%. Then after that you become successful and then you don't care about them anymore.
Sure.
No.
Understand.
Yeah.
So for me to summarize this to the audience listening, right, I think that fundamentally you need to find evidence. I remember in the COT interview, right, I keep saying that actually for her, right, she's extremely hopeful and positive, right? I know why. She keeps finding evidence, evidence to prove herself is not true. Like for example, those moments she say cannot be no hope already She find evidence that there is hope.
Yeah.
Same thing for this case. She said that there's no leads anymore. She find evidence, God right? Got more leads, right? And for these specific moments like that, right, I noticed that for her, she constantly find a lot of evidence to make her self-doubt eliminated and she increased a lot of self-conviction. And this is something that the audience can really learn from. I think that was powerful, right? And one last question, right? What's something, now that you have done, 12 years of leadership, you've done COT, MDRTs, things like that. What's something exciting for you moving forward actually? What's your next challenge since you like challenges also?
I think my next challenge would be to have maybe 4 directs that I can onboard and help them get to a level of success that they never imagined that they can achieve.
Right. And why is that exciting for you?
Because actually for the past few years, I haven't been taking on much direct that means a person that I directly mentor. Because what I've been doing is grooming my leaders and my leaders groom the new associates, right?
Yep.
So now that my leaders are very proud of them, even though they are young leaders and new to this whole entire leadership, they have really exceeded my expectation. And then I don't have to, worry so much about them. And they're doing a great job with their guys.
Yep.
So I'm like, okay, now I have the bandwidth.
Makes sense.
But I don't have the bandwidth for a lot of people. So maybe 4 people that I feel I can connect with, that I am convinced that they are willing to put in the hard work and they have the hunger to want to do something greater than whatever they're doing right now.
Right, understand.
Yeah.
And then when you mentioned that you can vibe with, right? Who do you specifically can vibe with? Share with them so that maybe some of the audience watching this, right, some of the advisors, they might be interested to find out more.
So vibing with a person, maybe some people would think that you have to be of similar personalities.
Right.
I don't agree with that. I actually like it if there is a good mix of different personalities, especially after I learn about different personalities, then it helps me understand others better. But I would think vibing with a person is that we have similar frequencies and values that we hold. That means the way we are as human beings, minus all the personalities, right? How we treat others, our thought process when it comes to the work that we do, what kind of standards do we hold ourselves to, and our attitude towards trying to grow and all this. So the combination of all that, right, then would help me feel okay, this is somebody that I can connect with and I would want to groom.
Let me do the audience a service here. Based on my understanding of her, right, Hilary, and also the interview, right, I think she really stands for a lot of excellence. She truly her utmost best, right? That's something she stands for. And the second thing that I noticed, right, she genuinely have the care for clients. Her care for people, right, is extremely high. She go above and beyond for people. Another thing that I can extract from her, right, is she constantly want to maximize. I think that's the word that you gave me during the interview. She used regret on the flip side for good, right, is maximize. If you're someone who wants to maximize your life, the opportunity, your career, right, I think she will genuinely vibe with you very well. I think that's a clearer way for them to say, hey, that's me.
Yes.
Yeah. Because that's what I extract from her, the element, the essence. Beautiful. And those of you who enjoyed this podcast and want to follow you, on social media, where can they find you at?
Hilary Huang
On Instagram?
Instagram.
Okay.
I don't really use Facebook. I have a Facebook account, but I don't really check it.
Okay,
Yeah, but
beautiful.
Instagram mainly, yes.
Yeah, once again, thank you so much for being on this
Thank
podcast.
you for having me here.
Yeah, and those of you who like this, please like, share, and subscribe to our podcast. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.